Well, today we are going to be tasting out and reviewing some basically traditional American whiskeys, bourbons and ryes, from relatively new distilleries. Some pretty small, some of them pretty dang big, but all of them relatively recent. Now, because I don't have a lot of space on this table and I don't want to be elbowing stuff onto the floor, we're going to do this in two flights. We're going to do Kentucky first, 3 from Kentucky, and then rest of the country. So these guys are going to go over to the side for just a second, and these 3 are going to come to the fore. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this is I just recorded a video encouraging everyone to support their, local, small or relatively small independent distillery. And I encourage everyone to do that by more or less going to war with their elected representatives or would-be elected representatives. And I don't know how that video has gone down. I haven't put it up yet, but I figured I should put my I will put my money where my mouth is by, getting involved in the primaries, but I will also get my money where my mouth is by tasting out and supporting some gosh darn American whiskey. So this first flight here is the Kentucky ones. We have 2 offerings from New Riff in Newport. And one from Wilderness Trail. And where the heck is Wilderness Trail? I always forget. Danville. They are in Danville, which is one of those towns I always drive through whenever I'm driving through Kentucky. So what do we got here? All right, so these 2, I should talk about these 2 because we're going to start with them. These are the old New Riffs. They are not standard features of the range. They're just kind of a fun experiment, apparently, that New Riff decided to put out. Different mash bills from their usual. And also they're using heritage grains. And also they're aging them in what they're calling 19th century style barrels. So no kilning, no shortcuts. They're trying to do these the old-fashioned way. And they're both 6 years old and bottled in bond. So trying to get a little bit old school here. We're going to start with the bourbon. 60% heirloom corn, 26 balboa rye. That's one of their things. 14% two-row malt. And 50% ABV. On the nose. America. Yeah. Take like 10 bags of Lipton's tea, stew them for entirely too long, and then add a scoop of vanilla ice cream and a whole bunch of mixed cherries. Some dried cherries, some fresh cherries. Yeah, and that is what this smells like. And you were going to sip that in the middle of like a kind of a damp attic, like an old farmhouse attic, right after a storm. So everything's musty and dusty. And this is musty and dusty. There's a little bit of like a maple syrup thing on this, which is kind of fun. Corn is coming through. There's like a street corn, like an elote thing happening, which I like. I'm going to be honest, from the pushing of heritage varietals, I was really expecting a loud slap in the face of graininess, and that's not really what this is. Lots more like Lipton's over, like sweet tea, really. Black pepper. More black pepper. Cinnamon sticks. Allspice, maybe. Really like just like jerk mix. Now let's go with that. Jerk spice. And yeah, the graininess is, we're more leaning towards like street corn than, your usual oatmeal or anything. I mean, it just smells like a really, really nice bourbon. I was expecting something, you know, a little bonkers. And that's not what this is on the palate. Again, like, I was expecting, you know, bourbon from outer space. I was expecting lots of weirdness, but it just isn't. It's just a darn good, normal bourbon, frankly. Very heavy on, like, sweet tea and black pepper and vanilla. There's the elote, like really toasted elote. There's lots of ashiness crawling in there. A little bit of Virginia tobacco, like stowed red Virginia. Cherries again, more leaning towards dried cherries this time. The musty attic thing. Something's grassy, but isn't it's almost like grass spirit, as if someone like made grass eau de vie. There's a little bit of like a grass eau de vie kind of thing happening. Interesting. Lightly herbaceous again. Sage, parsley, maybe. Cinnamon. Allspice. And pretty good mouth presence. The finish is, I mean, we'll start with the length. The length is, we're getting back to my tonsils. Pretty darn good for a 6-year-old. Hangs on pretty well. Finish is really dominated by, you know, the kind of the ashiness and the overstewed tea. But it's very pleasant. I don't know. I'm a little taken aback. It's not as weird as I was thinking it was going to be. But you know, I shouldn't hold that against it. 2 squirts, and we'll move on to their rye. Now, this rye, it's kind of the same story. We're just changing up the mash bill. This is, I'm going to read, 65% Balboa rye, 20% heirloom corn, and 15% two-row malt. But again, same kind of like 19th century style barrels, and all made on New Riff's column still, I believe. 50% ABV. Interesting. So I confess, I am much more used to the standard New Riff rye, with its basically, you know, nigh on 100% rye mash bill, which is just a big old herb bomb. And that's not what this is. This, you're getting, you know, some clovers and some sage. But it's also, has like a black bread element, like a German, you know, heavy rye bread element to it. With some, what is that? Caraway almost? Sure. Fennel? I mean, cinnamon, vanilla. It's an American whiskey. You're getting your sweet tea again. More tobacco. We're still on Virginias mainly, but now we're switching to more of a brighter Virginia, maybe a little bit more of a Carolina Virginia. Sorry, tobacco stuff. Cherry, you know, dried cherry again. Oh, and that funny, like, maple syrupy thing. That's still there. Huh. But yeah, if this is not, we're not on, like, Lithuanian black bread. It's not anywhere near that heavy of a black bread. We're like in the, you know, you go to your local German Polish store and you get the little brick of, like, black brick of rye bread. It's that smell. And also throwing something herbaceous. A little bit of a Douglas fir needle kind of thing. Eucalyptus maybe as well. Fun nose. It's a little bit more reserved than the bourbon was. On the palate. But it's quite delicious. Yeah, this is doing that thing that what they call barely legal ryes. Well, this is a little further away from that. Sometimes do, which is just deliver a very spicy, delicious version of the bourbon-y formula. Oh yeah. So we're taking your sweet tea, your big old overstewed sweet tea. We're going to sprinkle in some black pepper, a dab of vanilla, some dried cherries, but then we're going to add that little bit of eucalyptus, Douglas fir, sage, some parsley, a little bit of like a lemon peel thing. Just make it like super refreshing, and some tobacco, some Carolina bright leaf tobacco. If I were picking this apart, I would say it still feels a little bit light in terms of the mouthfeel, but it's so delicious. I basically don't mind. Those of you out there who are looking for like a new old-fashioned rye, this might be should go on your radar. Very good. Okay, let's give that 2 squirts of water as well, and we'll come back to it. I'm very curious to see what the water does to that one. I mean, all of these, but particularly that one. And Wilderness Trail. This, I haven't tasted anywhere near as much Wilderness Trail as I would ideally like to, because I love their stuff, particularly their ryes. But this is one of their bourbons. This is a cask strength small batch pick. It is 4 years, 9 months old. I will put on all the information on it below. But this is their wheated mashbill, which has kind of become their bread and butter a little bit. And this is, I will read it off, 64 corn, 24 wheat, 12% malt. And yeah, just over 4 years old. It's a little bit younger than these guys. You can immediately tell the difference that the wheat makes. Like this is now throwing a little bit of fresh mint at me, and a little bit of like, frosted shredded wheat, which is one of my favorite cereals when I was growing up. Okay, now it's like we're taking some of that mint, it's becoming more basil-y, but we're definitely on that kind of that family of herbs. White pepper. Come on. I mean, brown sugar, it's the note of notes, but, it's there. More white pepper. We're getting some, like, English breakfast tea kind of stuff coming through a little bit. But overall, except for the mint basil and the frosted shredded wheat, a more reserved nose than the previous two. A little bit ashy, a little bit of like a pipe tobacco ash, that tobacco that's been half smoked. It's a tobacco kind of day, and even a little bit of like a baked apple thing coming through. That's interesting. Slightly fruity. That might be... I'm struggling to pull more out of this. It's tough. I mean, okay, vanilla, sure. I'm looking for cherry. If there's little hints of maybe maybe you dipped one of the frosted shredded wheats in like a Kirschwasser or something. Just a little hint of cherry eau de vie in there. But, you know, that's kind of all there is. It's not a big, loud nose. That may just be the bottling strength. This is, what is this again? 54.49%. So a little bit stronger than the others. I mean, I know age ain't nothing but a number, but it does matter. In this case, this is showing some youth. This is pretty short in the mouth. Like, what's happening is all kind of stopping right at my molars. There's no throatal attack going on. Throatal is a word now. There's a little bit of a sense of ethanol creeping in, and it isn't just the strength. I just feel like this hasn't totally settled into its cask yet. But there is a lot to love here. I mean, I'm still getting that kind of mint. What is that? Like almost a fresh peppermint kind of thing, but also basil thing. My frosted shredded wheat is still in play. I'm getting what is that? It's like creamed corn, but like burned creamed corn, if that makes any sense. It's nice. Now we're getting the English breakfast tea thing again. We're getting the Kirschwasser thing again. There's a little bit more Kirschwasser now. I mean, overall, the palate is more active than the nose was. Vanilla. Flecks of, cinnamon, coffee cake here and there. Coffee cake crumbs. Black pepper. Ash. Tobaccos. I'm gonna stay on tobaccos but it's not Virginia. We're on like a burley Orientals blend. So there's a little bit of brightness coming through. There's a little bit of lemon peel, orange peel happening. Hints of grassiness, more so than on these two actually. But yeah, I mean, it's a delightful young whiskey, but it's a young whiskey. I mean, it's just hasn't had a lot of time to kind of grow into itself. And I imagine if this had the same kind of age as these two, it would be stepping up a little bit more, but it's still pretty good. So we'll give it We'll give it a squirt of water and come back to it. Oh. 2, 3, 4. 4 might do it. Incidentally, I've said this before in other videos, but not recently. If you are sipping and you want replicable ability to add water, get yourself a little pipette. They're not exact, but they're close enough. 5 should do it. We're good. Let's go back through these and give them a score. All right, back to the Old New Riff Bourbon. Now with a little bit of water. Ooh. It's the maple syrup that's come out. What is that? That is so weird. I mean, it's just there. Like, it smells like maple syrup. I mean, if you have this bottle, pour it, give it a little bit of water, nose it, tell me I am wrong. Tell me that there is not maple syrup on this. Oh, it's so obvious too. Yeah, it's like street corn dunked in maple syrup, and you're having it with a cup of like really strong, overstewed Lipton sweet tea. And that's what this smells like. Oh, great, but still got that tobacco thing, the Virginias, on the palate. There we go. Yeah. With water, especially on the second sip, the mouth presence just steps right up. Let me try this one more time. I'm worried about the excess of pepper and ash on the finish. No, it's under control. I mean, this has a really big, dry finish. And if you're into that, you will be into this. It's not out of balance. It holds itself together. The other elements, the teas, the tobaccos, the corniness, they all kind of hold through. This is very good. It's not great. This is not a great bourbon. It's not even a super good bourbon, but it's just a darn good bourbon. I don't totally understand what they were going for with this release. I was expecting something out of this world, and again, that's not what this is. But maybe they were just trying to make a good bourbon using a bunch of heirloomy stuff they had lying around, and it's worked out. I'm just going to score this into stratosphere, but I will absolutely give this an 85 plus. 85 plus for the Old New Riff bourbon. Very, very, very good. Let's see what the rye can do. I actually found this one more delicious going in, so let's see what happens now. Nose is pulled back quite a bit. We're still on this kind of Polish-German grocery store bread. There's almost a little bit of like a... what is that? Almost a root beer thing? No, not quite. The best I can do is like tobacco-infused root beer. That's a little bit of what this smells like. A little bit of herbs creeping in. But yeah, I think the nose is actually pulled back a little bit from where it was. That might be okay. Let's see what happens in the palate. Interesting. Let me try this again. So for me, I found that the Old New Riff bourbon stepped up with water. You really like the water. This is actually, if anything, it isn't gotten worse. It's just lost that kind of delicious factor that I was enjoying. That kind of like barely legal rye, lean deliciousness that I was appreciating. It's kind of lost that a little bit. It's put on more pepper. There's a bit more of a kind of drying, barky thing happening. I mean, I don't want to damn this. This is still very good, but I was enjoying it more without water. Let me try the bourbon one more time. Really breaks my heart because I adore the standard new Riff rye a lot, especially as it's getting older. In this case, I think the bourbon wins. I really do. So I'm going to give the rye kind of the opposite score. I'll give it an 85 minus. It's delicious. It's very good. I would drink it neat. And the way it took the water makes me concerned for how it would cocktail, but that's a question for another time. Let us move on. I brought the big mug today because it's a long-ass flight. 2 flights. Back to the Wilderness Trail. Now with a lot of water in it. More peppery, more kind of English breakfast tea creeping in. It feels like my frosted shredded wheat has gotten a little bit toasted now. There's a little bit of more of an ashiness thing creeping into the nose. Okay. The tobacco is also pretty obvious now on the palate. Ooh. Nice job, little guy. So, the big change with adding water is the whole mouth presence steps up. The mouthfeel is more grippy, more peppery, bringing a little bit of like a stony thing going on, or like not stony, like a. Well, let's go back to tobacco. I feel like my mouth is being rubbed down with some really scratchy, aging burley and stuff, and I'm enjoying it. The length is better. It's starting to get. We're still on a super duper long mouth length. We're starting to get back into my throat a little bit, which I'm enjoying. Get your mind out of the gutter. And the finish is just. It's still not. We're still not something that's going to be measured in eons, but. That has stepped up. Yeah, this is good. Profile might be still a hair bit simple for my taste. We're still a lot on English breakfast tea, frosted mini wheats, various herbs, particularly like in the minty basil-y family. Some spices, some peppers. No, I mean, the scores on these are all going to be clustering pretty close. I will score this a very respectable 84 plus. 84 plus out of 100, which is honestly like a better score than I was expecting to give, like a super duper young wheated bourbon, right? Sorry, I just had an annoying pop up there. And that is flight number 1. So your winner, the all new Riff bourbon, which might be the one I was least excited about going into this, to be honest. Really steps up with water, though. Like, it loves to water. Not the case with the rye, 85 minus. Super duper yummy if you were not giving it water. And then, like, this very respectable little, wilderness trail pick. It's good. Would be better with a few more years on it, but even now, nothing to complain about, really. Especially for their prices. They're darn reasonable, honestly. All right, so I'm going to move these glasses over here, and we'll get started on the second flight, which is kind of everything else. And I'm going to set this up. Let's do that glass. Yeah, and then these. You know what? Sure, that'll work. All right. I'm burping. It means the video's going well, right? That I'm a little bit burpy. All right, what order? Oh yeah. So first up is going to be this Dettling from Alabama. I have been very interested in these folks, but every single Dettling I've seen around here has been like worryingly young and just a little bit more expensive than I would like. So I'm excited to try this one. This is, I don't know if this is a pick or what, but 73 months old. So, oh God, math on camera. Just over 6 years, which seems like a very reasonable age. And then next up is this Cedar Ridge, picked by the Carmen and Jurko team. Jurko? I guess this is an ESPN thing. I don't really know. But this is from Cedar Ridge in Iowa. And I taste their stuff every time I go to a whiskey festival, and I think, gosh darn, this is good. I should buy a bottle of this. And I never do, but I just did. So here it is. Cedar Ridge. And this is barrel number 20.187, if you must know. And then we have got, which is the stronger of these two? Yeah, okay. Next is the Kings County in those weird little flasks that you'll see them in. This is a sealback box pick. I'll put further information down below. So Brooklyn bourbon, but not baby bourbon, because we don't like baby bourbon because it's not very good. And then, oh, this is the fun one. That's what I'm expecting great things from. Woody Creek. This is a rye. Well, weirdly enough, they just say Colorado straight whiskey, but the mashbill is actually all rye, or 80% rye, so don't quite know what's going on here. It's a Benny's pick, and it is 8 years old. So, yeah, I'm excited about trying this one. All right, let's get this started with the Dettling. So yeah, cast strength, 73 months old, from Atmore, Alabama. It's a big old mix of different grains. 70% corn, 15% rye, 12% oat. And I love oat in my whiskeys. It just adds so much body. And there's also some chocolate malted rye, some caramel malted wheat, and malted roasted barley. 56.2% alcohol by volume. Gosh darn, I'm excited to try this. Terrific nose. I mean, hand this to me, especially with this color. Hand this to me neat. I might be thinking Armagnac. I honestly might be. So we are getting... what are we getting? It's dark stuff. I mean, the initial thought is, French oak, honestly. There's some nods towards, toasted sugar. And you go reaching for traditional French oaky kinds of note. You're reaching for the figs and the prunes, and they're not really there. What you're getting is toasted marshmallows, oatmeal, burned oatmeal, dark chocolate, really dark chocolate. Now we're getting the Lithuanian rye bread. I don't know how to explain it. You really have to go to Lithuania sometime. I have tried the Lithuanian grocery stores. They will sell you apple cheese, but the real stuff you have to get in Lithuania. It is, rye bread, sourdough rye bread, so thick you have to basically cut the stuff with a lightsaber. And this is what it smells like. Fruity, thick rye. But then there's some florals in this as well. There's some like wildflowers. I am getting street corn as well, like peppery street corn. A little bit from like a soy sauce kind of thing. No. Teriyaki. Not like nice teriyaki, just like, parking, suburban mall teriyaki. That teriyaki. more, Lithuanian rye. It's a darn good nose. It's funny because the energy is very, very Armagnac-y, maybe cognac-y, but when you actually start nailing down notes, it's pretty clear you are not dealing with that kind of spirit. Some s'mores. Yeah, this is fun. A little bit of cider apple, too. Interesting. All right, on the palate. Sometimes you just get a sample. You don't know how it's going to be. You have some thoughts, you have some expectations, but and you're hoping it'll be good. You don't really know, and sometimes it just knocks it out of the park, deep into the stands. It's caught by the most excited 8-year-old at the park that day. This is very, very good. Oh, man. Where do I start with this? Okay, imagine you're working with two different glasses. With one glass, you make a fantastic old-fashioned with like a rye-heavy bourbon and some really good like barky, bitter bitters. Serious old-fashioned, aperitif stuff. And then on the other hand, you're making like a hot chocolate, but you don't have any fresh milk, so you're using like cream and like brewed tea instead. And you make like a cream and brewed tea hot chocolate. And then at the end you're like, why don't I combine these two? And that is what you do. You pour the two glasses together. That is what this tastes like. It tastes like a mixture of really strong tea, amazing hot chocolate, and a really serious bitters-driven, rye-driven, spice-driven, spice and herbs-driven kind of old-fashioned. That is what this is. Let's call out some notes. Hot chocolate. Oh. Stewed tea. When something is throwing new notes at me, like 2 or 3 seconds after I have swallowed, I know to shut up and pay attention. Basil, mint, chocolate mint, not the ice cream, like the actual plant varietal chocolate mint. That's in here. There's a little bit of fennel as well. Cinnamon, a little ginger, bitters, tree bark, orange peel. Oh, dark chocolate. Imperial stout beer, like really good imperial stout beer. There's even a little bit of hops on this. I don't think they actually use hops in the whiskey, but there's a little bit of that vibe. Just not like hardcore West Coast hops. This is more like English hops. This is awesome. I'm drinking this. I need to check this if I can see if this is still on sale anywhere. Holy crap. All right, let's add some water. We'll come back to it. Oh, yeah, and this was, what is the strength on this? 112.4, which is, math on camera, 56.2, something like that. All right, 3, 4, wow. And already, like, the rest of the country kind of showing Kentucky how it's done a little bit. Dang. I'll give this like half a squirt more. And I'm going to stop drinking it, because otherwise I'm just going to kill this glass. Holy crap. More like this, America. Like, I haven't even come back for a final score on this, and I'm already going to say, like, this right here, along with, I mean, it's not just this, but this is why craft distilleries, American craft distilleries exist. Because you have not tasted this before. Like, some of my favorite craft distilleries, Leopold, Clear Creek, I could name others, but I'm a little flustered right now. They are offering, they are not just making a bourbon, so you can buy a bourbon and have it be cool and local. This is something you haven't tasted before, and it's delicious, and it's special, and I want more of it. And, yeah, wow, I am, if anything else in this video lives up to that Dettling, like, I am going to be, like, over the moon. All right. And just watch this Cedar Ridge now fall flat on its face. All right. Cedar Ridge, Iowa, straight bourbon whiskey. I do not see an age on this, but it is marked straight, and there's no age statement, which means it has to be at least 4 years old. Barrel 20.187. And the mash bill in this is fun, if I remember correctly. It is 74% corn. It's all family farmed. 14 malted rye, 12% malted barley. So it's a pretty traditional mash bill, except there's no green rye. It's all malted rye, which should make this interesting. And it is interesting. Ooh. I remember distinctly trying these folks' wares at a festival. This would have been like, I don't know, over 10 years ago for the first time. And nosing their stuff and thinking, were they making like gin and they just forgot to clean out the still or something? Because there's a distinct botanical nature to this. I mean, you were absolutely getting like some flower essences, lemon peel, orange peel, lemon oil, juniper, but like soft juniper, like whispers of juniper, if I can put it that way. Black pepper. Yeah, lots of flowers, man. Like, just, it's, we don't generally think of bourbon as being a particularly floral style of spirit, but here is a floral bourbon. It smells very fresh. No, but then you pay attention, and yeah, we're still getting, like, the toasted cream of wheat elements, the vanilla, some, like, fresh dessert cherry. And some kind of tobacco. What kind of tobacco? Let's go Orientals again. Kind of brighter, citrusy, floral, grassy but not grassy kinds of tobacco. Nice, fresh. I have to think this is one of the younger entries here, but it also feels like something that's built to present well at a young age. This is not meant to just suck up oak into its teens. This is just delightful and fresh on the palate. You know, for something that's absolutely in the death seat after this Dettling, this is asserting itself very, very well. Oh. I was speaking in these terms a little bit with the what was it, the Alembique Serrano, the 3-year-old, that it kind of tastes a little bit like an artisanal gin. This is doing a little bit of the same thing. Yeah, you're getting like sweet tea. You're getting your tobaccos, orientals, some softer Virginias, fresh cherry, the graininess, cream of wheat. But you're also getting lemon peel, lots of flowers, lots of evergreen stuff. Like pine tree needles. But it's not punching in the face like a traditional London dry gin or something. It's just kind of like there and bright, and it really, really covers the palate very well. You're getting oak here. You're absolutely getting oak here. You're getting the sweet tea, a little bit of vanilla. Did I mention vanilla? A couple of vanilla pods thrown in. But this feels like a very distillate-driven bourbon. Like, it feels like they wanted something that was going to be very aromatic, but at the same time kind of, dominate the palate a little bit. And this is really, especially, I don't want to talk to us about the Wilderness Tale. I'm doubting the Cedar Ridge is much older than the Wilderness Trail, but this stuff is really covering my palate with citrus oils and flowers and stuff. Way better than that was doing the job. It's holding in there. You can kind of criticize the mouth length on this, but I like this a lot. Gun to my head, I don't think it's going to beat the Dettling, but we'll give it some water and we'll come back to it. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's close. Give it a little more, just a little squirt more. Okay, on to glass 3. And we're going to Brooklyn. Kings County Distillery. Where did I put my note for this? And this is a seal box bottling. 6 years old. It is number 05604, if you must know. And I don't think this particular. I looked for pictures of this particular bottle. I couldn't find a lot of info on the mash bill, but I did see a mash bill of elsewhere of 80% organic corn and 20% English malt. So I'm guessing it's the same. This is bottled at. Does it say on here? 64.4% alcohol by volume. So let's buckle up. And you get it on the nose. There is alcohol nip on this. Come on. Lots of alcohol nip. White pepper. More than that, almost like a curry note. What is that? Yeah, like a red curry, cumin. Very, very spice driven. No, but at the same time, you're getting like street corn soaked in Lipton's tea. So yeah, we're in the territory of classic Americana here. It's delicious. There's lots of delicious things in here. There's some like macerated cherries. A little bit of, a little bit of cane syrup, if I'm honest. Touches of herbaceousness. It's hard to nail down exactly. Oregano, maybe. But I gotta say, like, I'm enjoying the nose, but it's also a little bit physically painful for me because it's very nippy. I hate it that every review of everything pushing above, above 60% will say, "Oh, it doesn't. You never know. It's blah 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 percent if you didn't look at label. It's so smooth." This you absolutely know that's 64%. Like it smells hot. It smells hot, but it also smells delicious. So okay. Let's go with it on the palate. Pow! Big old punch of like Lipton's sweet tea and s'mores right in the center of my mouth, and it's like it's s'mores, but it's mostly graham cracker. If I'm honest, there's so much graham cracker right in the middle of this, and it feels like there's a little bit happening up here. There's a little bit happening back here. But everything is really in the center. It feels like it just dropped a depth charge into my mouth, and it exploded right here, and the explosion was made up of graham crackers. Oof, it's good though. Tea, mashed cherries, mashed dried cherries in particular. More graham crackers. I cannot get away from the graham crackers. That cane syrup note is still back. I'm almost edging on molasses. A little bit herbal still. I mean, a lot of stuff from the nose is coming through. Oregano, maybe. Allspice, cinnamon. There's not a huge range to the flavors here. I've just named kind of all of them, probably. Okay, there's a little bit of coffee grinds as well. But there's a fair bit of dimensionality to this. It feels like it goes deep. It goes hard on the flavors it does have. This is another one where I'm really, really curious to see what it does with water because, I mean, Dettling is still in the lead. I'm not gonna lie to you, but if water kind of opens this up and kind of gives it more development, more mouth presence, more complexity, we could have a very interesting fight on its hands. But it has to open up. So I'm gonna give this a couple squirts. 2. I'm just gonna bring the cup over. 3. 4, 5, I think it'll do 6. Ooh, I think it's opening up. Ooh. I'm not going to get hopeful. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on because last up is this. I've been resisting digging into this thing, but this is a 8-year-old whiskey. They're just calling it a Colorado straight whiskey, but an 8-year-old whiskey, with a 80% rye, 20% malt, mashbill, Binny's pick from Woody Creek Distillers in Colorado, and of course they are using locally sourced grains, all that kind of cool stuff. And this is cask number 915, alcohol 65.7 gosh darn percent. I have no idea why I didn't mark this as a rye, because it's New American Oak. It's a straight. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but I really want to try it on the nose. This is another reserved one on the nose. We're getting some herbal notes. I mean, it's a rye. You want herbal notes, right? Be honest, you want herbal notes. So sage, oregano. What else? White pepper. I will say, unlike with the Kings, with this one, I don't feel like my nose is being attacked by alcohol, even though this is a little bit stronger. I don't know what that says, but, there we go. You wouldn't know that it's 65-odd%. It's so smooth. What else is in there? Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of breadiness. Again, we're leaning more towards the German, Polish grocery store style of heavy rye bread this time, but we're leaning in that direction. More herbs, dusty herbs. Yeah, okay, here we go. There's a dustiness to this. It's starting to open up now. So, eating your Polish grocery store rye, crap. No, not right now, everyone. Polish grocery store rye on in the middle of like a Western trail. With a ton of herbs surrounding you. Sure, let's go with that. Lots of pepper. It's hard to articulate what's going on here. It's not that forthcoming. That could just be the strength on the palate. Oh. Oh, I like you. Wow. This is not subtle at all. Just a big old bomb of pepper, rhubarb, mixed herbs, leaning sage, oregano, parsley, with a little bit of fennel in there as well. Really just crawling around my entire palate and just clawing at the inside of my mouth, but I'm enjoying it. Black pepper, tree bark, really intense. Sourdough rye. You've got that kind of sour, fruity thing going on. In some ways, I'm reminded of that really good Dad's Hat rye I had, I don't know, a year or two ago. I don't think this is that good, but it's got this. It doesn't have the same level of complexity, but it's got the same like just big old like mouth-destroying bomb character of that, and the herbaceousness and the almost aperitif character. There's some tea, a little bit of burley tobacco in there. Fabulous. Well, yeah, so I'm going to say right up front, this is a stronger flight than Kentucky was. Wow. These are all really pretty good. 3, 4, 5, it'll take 6. Even a little more. Just a dash more. Yeah, it says something that even these two middle guys who are kind of the lessers of this flight, are still really good, and I would still probably take them. At least, I think they're at least tying some of the better options in the previous flight. I mean, this is a good flight. So the rest of the U.S. kind of showing Kentucky how it's done a little bit. Okay, let us go back through these and give them a score. First, the Dettling, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm expecting this to take the win. I mean, it's between this and the Woody Creek. Although these two are good too. I don't know. It's exciting. The old-fashioned strong tea, root beer, hot chocolate thing and ginger ale thing that this is doing is so cool. I need to get a bottle of this. I need to get a bottle of this or something like it. I cannot get tired of this. No, yeah, I mean, okay, that's about what it smells like. Old-fashioned, like a really good, seriously, bitters-driven, rye-driven, old-fashioned, hot chocolate, strong-ass tea, root beer and ginger ale to top it off. On the palate. Ooh, Jesus. On the palate. It's not just that this is really good. This is really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's that I have not tasted anything like this before. Water sweetens it up a little bit, but also brings out a little bit of those chocolate notes, and it also softens it up, which initially I was kind of worried because I was like, oh, is it losing its groove a little bit? But no, it's really sticking to the entire palate really well. The finish, it's just, chocolate and herbs and, spice into infinity. I'm going to finish this. I'm just going to do it. I might 90 this. I'm going to let me think about it. Yeah, let's do it. Is this as good as hair as... Well, I'm a little flustered right now, but as all the other 90s I've given out there, I think it is. I'm going to give this a 90. 90 points for this Dettling. This is phenomenal. This is amazing. Just a fantastic example of what an American whiskey can do. I'm gobsmacked a little bit. I'm just stunned. And once again, in the death seat is Cedar Ridge. Back to the Cedar Ridge on the nose. Oh. And water brings out the apples. We're really getting like a big old piles of orchard fruit now. It's so pretty. I mean, you're still getting the flowers and the lemon oils, a little bit of the evergreeny stuff. But now it's the fruit coming in. There's no way this is going to win the flight. It just isn't. It isn't that caliber. But I am so happy I own a bottle of this. Just look at me. I'm smiling as I stick my nose into this. There's a big, fat, stupid smile on my face because it smells fun. It smells bright and happy, and I love it on the palate. Gun to my head, I think I might have liked it a hair bit better without water. Same story as kind of on the nose a little bit. We're bringing in a little bit of apple and a little bit of fig too, interestingly. Bringing a lot of fruit. We lost a little bit of the mouthfeel. Has fallen away. It's not quite as aggressive on the palate. We lost that kind of evergreeny note, which I was enjoying. I mean, it's still really. I mean, it's not a big step down. It's just like a little. I could see people preferring this with water. I really could. And honestly, the way this responds to water does not make me worried in the same way that the old New Riff rye does. So I'm going to call this. Oh, geez, can I get an 86 out of this? I'm close. I'm stuck between an 85 and an 86. I'm going to call this an 86 minus just to make it easy. 86 minus out of 100. Ah, crap. Hold on. Let me pause. Back on? All right. Sorry. Calls from the school. Okay. Kings County. Let's give this a score. Oh my God, we're almost an hour and 10 in. Let's finish this off, folks. I mean, now the Kings County just smells like a s'more. A really like peppery, curry-driven, cumin-driven s'more. But we're still in that range. This is... interesting. On the palate. I'm not like making that face because I think this is bad. I'm making that face because I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping that with water this would step up and really kind of challenge the Dettling a little bit and kind of expand what it was doing in the middle of my palate to the rest of my palate. And to some extent that's happening. To some extent, there's some extension, like into my tonsils and up front. It doesn't just feel like a big old depth charge in the middle of my mouth now. But we've also lost some of the elements that I was really enjoying about this. The intense, like spicy s'more thing I was enjoying has really just kind of given way to like a slightly lame American oak overstewed tea vanilla cherry thing. Don't get me, it's still delicious. I still enjoy this. But now that it's in with water, it's just presenting a little bit like, you walk into Lowe's to the hardware department and you say, give me a glass of American whiskey, and they just give you this. Like it's a little bit generic, a little bit like, whiskey by the yard, if I can put it that way. But still good. I mean, no doubt about that. I'm going to give this an 85. 85 points, because that's kind of where the score it has earned. And let's move on to the Woody Creek. Woody Creek non-rye for Binnies. I need some water. On the nose. Still kind of reserved on the nose, if I'm honest. Changes? I mean, maybe some of that kind of dusty, deserty thing is coming through now. But mostly the nose is kind of what it smelled like before. But it wasn't really a nosing kind of whiskey before. It was really, everything was happening in the palate. So let's see what happens in the palate. Yeah. Oh. It's not beating the Dettling. Nothing's beating the Dettling today. But this feels like a firm second place. Really fun sourdough rye characteristics with a side of, bitter herbs, some orange peel. Herbaceousness, grassiness. Doesn't really develop a whole lot on the palate with water, if I'm honest. And that's okay. It was delicious before. It is delicious now. Yeah, really good. Can I do 88 with this? No, I can't do 88. I'm gonna do 87 points. 87 points. Come on, 87. Sharpie is not cooperating today. 87 points for the Woody Creek. This is really good. And you should grab it if you see it. And so, yeah, that is flight number 2. Your winner is the Dettling. This is amazing. And if you see stuff from them at this kind of age, you should buy it. Like now. It's really, really good. One of the best American whiskeys I've had in a long time. And then the Woody Creek, just a phenomenal, herbaceous, rye-ish rye. Sorry, I'm 115 minutes into this, and I'm doing the best I can. And then Cedar Ridge, which I like more without water. But they've got something here. I don't know where they can go with this kind of profile, because I don't know if it'll respond well to more aging, but this is delicious, and it's kind of its own thing, and it makes me excited. I'm glad I own a bottle of this. And yeah, Kings County, Brooklyn, shown pretty well. 85 points. And yeah, that is your video. And what lesson can we take from this? Honestly, I think maybe the rest of the U.S. is doing it better than Kentucky is. Sorry, Kentucky, you don't win this one. Thanks for watching, and cheers.